30 die in Sudan airstrike. WHO declares Cape Verde malaria-free. US launches fresh missile attack on Houthi in Yemen. The news in details. The Ekiti State Governor, Mr. Biodun Oyebanji, has indicated state government's readiness to participate in the federal government's wet and dry season farming intervention scheme, designed to enhance food security and boost agricultural productivity. Oyebanji also solicited more collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security on mechanization. In a statement, the special advisor to the governor on media, Yinka Oyebode, said the governor mentioned this during a visit to the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, and the Minister of State, Senator Aliyu Abdullahi, in Abuja. Oyebanji said the state was ready to maximize the agricultural potential and to bring people out of poverty and put them on the path to economic prosperity. President Bola Tinubu has charged governors elected on the platform of the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, to always put the interests of Nigeria ahead of political affiliations. President Tinubu tasked the governors to design and implement policies that prioritize all Nigerians. The president, who received members of the Progressive Governors Forum, PGF, at the State House in Abuja, said development policies would only find full relevance in people's lives when there is inclusivity, ownership, and sustainability. And in the foreign news, pro-democracy lawyers said fighting between rival Sudanese forces, including airstrikes on the capital Khartoum, have killed at least 33 civilians. Sudan has been gripped by nearly 9 months of war, pitting Army Chief Abdel Fattah against his former deputy paramilitary commander, Mohamed Daglo. The war has claimed at least 12,190 lives, according to a conservative estimate by the Armed Conflict Location and Events Data Project, and the United Nations says more than 7 million people have been displaced. This is the broadcasting service of Ekiti State. For news, information, or comments, send to bscsnewsroom@gmail.com. The World Health Organization says Cape Verde has become the third African nation to be declared malaria-free, even as the disease continues to kill hundreds of thousands of people on the continent. The Atlantic of about 500,000 inhabitants follows Mauritius in 1973 and Algeria in 2019. Worldwide, some 43 countries have been certified as malaria-free by the WHO, which requires showing that the domestic chain of transmission has been broken for at least 3 consecutive years. Over to Turkish. President Recep Erdogan says US and British strike on Yemen's Houthis were disproportionate, alleging the US and Britain wanted to turn Red Sea into bloodbath. Erdogan made the allegation in a chat with newsmen after Friday prayers in Istanbul. The US and British strikes came in response to Houthis' attack on what they deemed to be Israeli-linked ships traveling on the Red Sea. And Canadian Prime Minister Justin says Canada did not give resources for the US strikes against Houthis in Yemen, but supports the strike. Justin made the clarification while answering questions from newsmen on the country's involvement with the strikes in Yemen. He condemned strikes by Houthi militia in civilian and commercial vessels. In the meantime, the United States of America has carried out a new attack on a Houthi site in Yemen, a day after wider attacks led by the US and UK in what the US called a follow-up action. The US says the attack this week was designed to degrade the Houthis' ability to attack maritime vessels. It says since 19 November, Iranian-backed Houthi militants have attempted to attack and harass vessels in the Red Sea and the Gulf in Eden 28 times. The Houthis have vowed the US and UK strikes will not go without punishment or retaliation. Over to Taiwan. Vote counting got underway in Taiwan's presidential election, held in the shadow of threats from China that choosing the wrong leader could set the stage for war on the self-ruled island. Beijing slammed frontrunner Lai Ching-te, the current vice president, as a dangerous separatist in the days leading up to the poll, and on the eve of the vote, its defense ministry vowed to crush and move towards Taiwanese independence. Communist China claims democratic Taiwan, separated from the mainland by 180 kilometers straight, as its own, and says it will not rule out using force to bring about unification, even if conflict does not appear imminent. Over to sports. The attention of the sporting world will shift to America as the continent's flagship football competition. The 34th edition of the African Cup of Nations, AFCON, will kick off today in Côte d'Ivoire. Beginning from today till February 11th, 24 teams, including Nigeria's Super Eagles, will battle to undo one another for Africa's most coveted continental football trophy. The Super Eagles are in Group A alongside the hosts Côte d'Ivoire, Equatorial Guinea, and Guinea-Bissau, and will play their first match tomorrow against Equatorial Guinea. They will also face Côte d'Ivoire 4 days later before their final Group A fixture against Guinea-Bissau on January 22nd. To end the world news, here again are the main points. We told you that President Bola Tinubu has charged governors elected on the platform of the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, to always put the interests of Nigeria ahead of political affiliations. It was in the bulletin that over 30 people have died during fighting between rival Sudanese forces in Khartoum. You also heard that World Health Organization, WHO, has declared Cape Verde malaria-free. Lastly, on the world news, you heard that United States of America has launched a fresh missile attack on Houthi site in Yemen. Message: be moderate in your conduct this weekend. That's the world news as put together by the production team and edited by Shola Olorulano. On behalf of the editorial team, I am Blessing Ogiji. Thanks for listening.